In this video, you're going to see the Ciri featurette, and we're going to break down all the secrets inside it. But first, let's watch it. Look at that red. Looks like a vision.
Here's your first lesson. As in life, it is impossible always to be fully prepared for battle. Keep your sword close.
Grandma.
And keep moving.
There's something special about this girl. She's
like
very loyal
here.
to the people that she loves. She's built a heart from it, but just hasn't had any experience in the real world. All she's known was a sheltered life as a princess and this very secure network of people looking after her.
At least you didn't shit your cakes.
See, that's ice.
She's very relentless, very stubborn, and she's also very naive. I think she just wants to make sure that she doesn't get trapped in that box.
Would you honor me with the dance?
Martin.
She'd love to.
The typical conforming life of a princess. She wants to kind of break free from that. But she suddenly gets dropped in a very brutal world. People are after her. Does become something very scary.
Lesson number 2. Know when it's time to stop moving.
She loses everybody she's known within one night. A huge theme in The Witcher is the loss of family and the search for family.
Find Geralt of Rivia. He is your destiny.
If that's the last words that her grandmother has said to her, it means a great deal, and I think that's what keeps her determined to continue on. That's all she's got left to cling on to. It does mean a lot to her, but she doesn't quite know yet what it means. Being a princess doesn't matter anymore. She just doesn't know where to begin.
Be careful, child. This place isn't safe if you're alone.
And it's the same as every other place.
So, if you don't want any possible book spoilers or spoilers for the show, you probably shouldn't be watching videos like this. But I will mention things that book readers or show watchers may be able to figure out. I think Ciri's story in this season was a big challenge for the writers. That Ciri I think shows up in 2 short stories in the first 2 short story books, The Last Wish and the Sword of Destiny. She shows up in the Sword of Destiny short story and Something More. And really, we don't even see Pavetta, I think, until episode 4, which is Banquets, Bastards, and Burials, according to their announced things. So Pavetta is Ciri's mother. So Ciri's really not born, probably not born by the Last Wish. Maybe it's debatable, but she's not born definitely by episode 4 on Geralt's timeline. So the way that they're going to do it is that Ciri is going to be ahead in time, and Geralt and Yen are going to be behind in time. And so the things that are happening to Geralt and Yen maybe are somewhat contemporary, and the things that are happening to Ciri are in the future. And so Geralt and Ciri's timeline are probably not going to coincide until episodes 7 and 8. So we know the most from the books about Geralt. That's why it's the Witcher books. But Ciri doesn't. She becomes more and more important as you go along in the books. And in the first 2 short story books, she's not super important. And then we have her saga. And then with her saga, then she is arguably, by the end of the saga, a more important character than Geralt. But at the beginning, you can see from both the featurette for Geralt and Yennefer, how strong of characters they start out with. But Ciri is just kind of a kid. And, Freya Allen's portrayal of Ciri, one of the problems with it is that she's a little old for Ciri. Ciri should be a little bit younger, probably about 3 years younger than Freya Allen is. Um, but then it's a lot to ask of such a young child actor. There's also issues in subsequent seasons when they're in kind of more adult situations. It's not good to have a child actress. So Ciri's just a little bit too old, and so Freya Allen has to act younger, and I'm not sure that she's doing that in this. When I see her with Queen Calanthe, her grandmother. So they call Ciri the lion cub of Cintra, and Calanthe is the lioness of Cintra. And I really love the casting of Calanthe. Johdi May is the same actress who played Maggie the Frog in Game of Thrones, the witch who gave the prophecy. Uh, and that Maggie the Frog scene for Game of Thrones fans has just been dissected and loved and loved. So one of the most iconic scenes, she was in Game of Thrones for such a short amount of time, but she just kind of nailed it. And I think she's nailing it. Johdi May is nailing it here as Queen Calanthe. Too bad we only get to see her one season. I think you see Ciri here, the Freya Allen, Ciri's character, talking to Eist Tursak. So we're going to see in Banquets, Bastards, and Burials the betrothal of Eist to Calanthe to get an alliance between Cintra and Skellige. So the gamers will note that there's a lot of ties between Kraken Crate and Ciri in Witcher 3, right? And he goes to her defense, and he sends his son Hjalmar to her defense. That's in part because Kraken Crate was one of the principal suitors to Pavetta before it was revealed that Pavetta already had a relationship with Duny. The backstory, of course, to Ciri is that that we're going to find out in this, but it's going to be from episode 1 that she's going to be an orphan, right? Her mother, Pavetta, and Duny die in a shipwreck, and that probably is going to come out in episode 1. My thinking, because they're building the backstory to Ciri. But from the book reader's point of view, that doesn't really come out until you get to A Question of Price, the short story, which is what Banquets, Bastards, and Burials is based on, A Question of Price. So you see a lot of Ciri kind of running around in the woods of Brokilon. She's going to get captured by the dryads. It's up for question if Geralt's going to make the appearance in that as he did in Sword of Destiny. We've not seen that in the trailers. There's some hints that he may not go to Brokilon for reasons I don't understand. But I think in the books, the Brokilon, him stumbling across Ciri and Brokilon, gets their relationship going even more than just Grandma Calanthe saying, Geralt is your destiny, right? So she is the child surprise. So when in episode 4, when Geralt saves Duny, Ciri's father, then he allows the child surprise to happen, he'll give him anything, and Geralt clarifies that what anything is, and in the end, what you don't expect, and then it's revealed at the end of that episode that Pavetta is pregnant. Nobody knew it, and Geralt has a claim to Ciri. But of course, Calanthe is not going to give up her granddaughter that easily, and so in Sword of Destiny, she tries to keep Geralt from taking Ciri, and even goes so far as tries to kill Geralt, but then retracts the order. I think we're going to see some of that, because we do see Mousesack, who is the magical advisor to Calanthe. He's a druid, and you see him with his kind of weird beard in Witcher 3 and Skellige near the druid circle, and he also comes to help Ciri at Kaer Morhen. But the Mousesack is played by Levy is his last name, but it looks like a really awesome actor that's really nailed it. So, I think Freya Allen has kind of a lot to go. I think it starts out, her character's not super interesting, and I think her character is going to get more and more interesting in season 2 and subsequent seasons. The whole fallen princess theme is is one that reoccurs a lot actually in the Witcher books. And you're going to be introduced to that in the first episode, where we see the fallen princess Renfri in the Butcher of Blaviken story. So that the idea that just because you start out as a princess doesn't mean that you just have banquets and courtiers and you live in a castle. It could mean that you lose everything, right? And so that's certainly one of the things I think will be driven home in episode 1, and I think that's going to be a continuing theme throughout season 1 and then season 2, which should come out in 2021. But season 1 is coming out December 20th. We are going to have a a party on the 19th, big YouTube party here at the Linus Wilson channel. So you want to subscribe to get all the analysis of and previews and excitement about the Witcher show. Can't wait to do it. We do on this channel, we do fantasy TV such as Witcher and the Vikings, and Game of Thrones before that, and we also cover the Witcher games. So I got videos on all 3 of the Witcher games, and we got a few Let's Plays going on at the moment. But I think the other things from this trailer, we get a lot from the fall of Cintra. We see a lot more of Cahir. So Cahir is essentially a Nilfguardian nobleman knight who is trying to save or capture Ciri. Is kind of ambiguous at this point. Is he a villain or not? But he does tend to scare Ciri. So did he save her in Cintra, or is he just capturing her for the Nilfgaardian invaders for nefarious purposes, and they may have nefarious ends? I don't know. The other thing I think from the trailer, and we've seen this in other trailers, these visions, the red bloody vision, the vision of the blue tree, those visions really don't happen in the books until I think even after the first novel of the saga. So the first novel is Blood of Elves, and the second one's Time of Contempt. I think most of those, we see hints of her power, right? Her elder blood power, Ciri's elder blood power maybe in Blood of Elves, but it's not really into Time of Contempt that they go into. You see it from Ciri's perspective of those visions and her in the desert. That makes me think of the vision she had in Time of Contempt, and also the teleporting to the desert after the fall of, spoiler, Aretuza. So the school for sorceresses. So I think it was a challenge. It was a challenge for Netflix to make this a 3-character series. I've heard some people say that they were planning on making it a series from the beginning. I don't see how that would have been possible. And I don't think it's ever going to be entirely series. The saga is primarily focused on The Witcher, Geralt, and that's where the source material is. I'm really impressed with what they have done with the character of Yennefer. I think Ciri just hasn't had enough experience to carry the show at the moment. But I think by the end of maybe season 3, maybe Ciri or Freya Allen will be the that binds the series, but they don't have to, because Geralt is a pretty interesting character, and I think Henry Cavill, as long as he sticks with it, is going to do a great job. All right, so I want to say goodbye. Subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss the latest on the Witcher Netflix series. This is not the last video. We've got spoiler leaks for all 8 episodes. We got 6 of them out. We'll do episodes 7 and 8 in the next week or so. Bye-bye.